Let's get more on that proposal from Labor for financial incentives to get more Aussies vaccinated. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese joins us from Canberra. Good morning to you. Welcome to News Breakfast.
Good morning, Lisa.
Hey,
good to be with you.
Yeah, look, we've got a few questions about this. From what we read, there's got to be an election before December the 1st and you've got to win it if this is going to happen?
No, the government should adopt this. We put forward wage subsidies last year and the government said it was a dangerous idea at the time until the queues formed around the corner of Centrelink offices, and then they came on board after business, unions and Labor were advocating for it. This is just a practical suggestion. It's constructive. I'm disappointed the government has reacted the way that they have, given that the Chief Medical Officer, Dr Kelly, said earlier this year we need to provide every incentive possible for people to be vaccinated, and we know that Australia at this stage is running pretty close to last in the developed world when it comes to the rollout of the vaccine.
How much would it cost if you're hoping that the government's going to adopt this idea?
Well, if 100% got the jab, it would be $6 billion. For 80%, the figure that the government's aiming at, the figure would be around about $5 billion. But that compares, Lisa, with the cost of these lockdowns. It's up to $2 billion each and every week. And as well as, of course, being good for health, this is aimed at stimulating the economy. You give $300 cash payment to Australians. They'll spend it creating jobs, supporting jobs in their local communities, supporting that economic activity, given that September has seen, of course, because of these lockdowns in the September quarter, it's likely to be negative, and businesses and workers are really struggling.
Do you worry about the precedent it sets, that if we go back into really bad flu seasons, that suddenly people are expecting to be paid to go and get the flu vaccine?
Lisa, this pandemic has seen all sorts of one-offs, and that's what we've done. We've done that, but the truth is the government had two jobs this year, the rollout of the vaccine and national quarantine. I noticed the report you just had that our athletes are going back to Howard Springs near Darwin. It's the only purpose-built facility. We have a lockdown in Queensland again at the moment because of a failure of hotel quarantine. We need to get this right. So we need to build national quarantine facilities that are purpose-built, and we need to roll out the vaccine and get those rates up and use everything at our disposal to encourage those vaccination rates to rise. This is just one measure, but it's a measure as well that will support jobs and economic activity. There is no downside here, and the government should take this on board and should adopt it.
Well, there's no sort of downside for you, is there? That it's unlikely to be an election this year, so if there's one next year, you then pass this pinch point where people need to get vaccinated. So you're just hoping you can put the pressure on. Can I ask you about the messaging, though, on vaccination generally? There's a lot of attention on the Chief Medical Officer in Queensland and her views on AstraZeneca. That kind of messaging on the vaccine that is very safe, that is now being encouraged for people in hotspots, that can't help, can it?
Well, we encourage people to be vaccinated with whatever vaccines are available, subject, of course, of talking to their doctor. If that's AstraZeneca, then good thing. People should get that vaccine. It is safe. They should talk to their doctors. Of course, some of the vaccine hesitancy came about due to the Prime Minister holding a late-night press conference here earlier this year. And so we encourage people to be vaccinated. We need to get those vaccine rates up. It's as simple as that. If you can be vaccinated, if you're eligible, if your doctor says go, then go. I was at a facility in Queensland just a week ago today at Logan City at the entertainment centre there. People are getting both AstraZeneca and Pfizer there. The problem that the people running that facility told me, they don't have enough supply, and we know that that's been the big problem up to now is that we just haven't had enough vaccines.
If the management of the public health crisis, as you put it, is a national catastrophe, why do we see opinion polling this morning from Guardian Essential that shows your voter approval rating going from 41% to 34%?
What I'm worried about, Lisa, is the state of the nation. I haven't seen those polls, and they come and go. What I'm worried about.
You haven't seen the poll yet? Really? A plunge like that in voter approval, and no one said, "Hey, boss, there could be a problem here."
I've been putting forward constructive ideas. I'll continue to do so, Lisa. I'm concerned about the national interest. I am aware that polls come out, they come and go. The latest ones, everyone I've seen shows us ahead of the current government, but the focus at the moment is on fixing this health crisis. We need to do it. We know that the government did have 2 jobs this year and they've botched both of them. Now we have to deal with the consequences of that, as millions of Australians who are locked down today are dealing with the direct consequence of failures of hotel quarantine and the failure to get our vaccination rates up. What we'll continue to do is put forward constructive suggestions around those issues in order to increase the vaccination rates, and we'll continue to argue that we need to fix purpose-built quarantine facilities.
All right, Anthony Albanese, I think the $300 isn't going to fly with the government, but thanks for coming on the program.
Well, they knocked back wage subsidies.
So you think you can change
their
mind?
Well, before they adopted it. Well, they changed their mind from day to day and week to week on the advice and on statements that Mr Morrison is giving as Prime Minister. He was against lockdowns the last time Parliament sat, you might recall, and encouraged New South Wales to not lock down, and we know what the consequences of that have been, not just for Greater Sydney, but for other states as well, where this spread from one failure in Sydney.
We'll have to leave it there, but thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Lisa.